You know, I really should be surprised at how shit the booking was. But I've learned to accept that after 2 years of watching wrestling where it's been pretty darn bad with the booking. I watched wrestling for a lot longer than that, but the last 2 or 3 years has been absolute shit with the booking. So, Mania. Raw, the post-Mania Raw has passed. And now we can start talking about the aftermatch. I didn't watch the show, obviously, like I said, but I watched some clips that WWE set up. And I am not going to stop watching because they kept both Lesnar and Taker's victories at WrestleMania. Or basically, none of them lost at WrestleMania, which is good. But that didn't stop this Mania from being a very meh WrestleMania. That's at least what I hear from the critics for the most part. They felt it was a pretty meh WrestleMania. The general consensus was that most of them, that the matches were pretty good. At least most of them. At least a lot of them. And the booking was absolute shit. Can't expect anything else. Oh well. Shall we? Let's talk about WrestleMania. No point in going over the pre-show because nothing really happened there. Other than Kalisto retained. So basically nothing happened. Moving on to the ladder match. From what I hear, people said it was a really good match, which is annoying because I was really hoping it was gonna be terrible and just have people say that they really should have done Owens and Zayn 101. And yeah. I saw some clips and Sammy looked really good, and Owens looked really good. So that was great. But what did they do? What was the result? Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder. Why? Of all things, why? 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 In a match where Owens and Zayn were having their first WrestleMania match, the guy who comes out on top is Zack Ryder. Why? I know people are happy that Zack Ryder won the title, but why? I get it. I mean, I get why people are happy. I mean, the guy's been screwed over by the company for a long time, but why? And hell, he got screwed over again, because the next night on Raw, he lost the title to The Miz. Not the previous champion Kevin Owens, The Miz. Why? Why? It's just... Why couldn't Kevin Owens just retain? I mean... Why couldn't he? I mean, it's clear that WWE is not going to stop the Owens and Zayn feud, and they shouldn't. And they should continue that feud because it's really good. But Why did they take the title away? You could have had a good time. No rivalry. I mean, yeah, they can do it without it, but I feel like it adds a bit more considering that they were fighting for the NXT Championship back in NXT. And sort of evolving that storyline to include bigger championships. But no, that was a loss. Moving on. We have Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles. From what I hear, they had a pretty good match. Not that I expected anything else. I mean, it's Chris Jericho and AJ Styles. Both phenomenal wrestlers. Pardon the pun. And yeah. However, booking wise, not so much. So here's basically what happened. AJ Styles hit Jericho with a Styles Clash. He kicked out. That's the second time he's done that. Kind of diminishes his finisher. And then I didn't watch the match, so I don't know how, but the end result, Jericho won. Chris Jericho won. So in that match, he accomplished two things. He made Styles' finisher look weaker, and he brought the score up to 2-2. 50-50 booking again. Why? Why did they do that? It's like, what was the point of having Styles lose? Hell, if you were considering what you did on Raw, I'm even more puzzled as to why you did that. I mean, they had a fatal 4-way to determine the next #1 contender, and who won? AJ Styles won. He even had the Styles Clash on Jericho to win it. So why didn't he just win at WrestleMania so he had more momentum going into that title match? Or into that #1 contender spot? Why? Also, is that pinfall in the Fatal 4-Way the end of the feud between AJ and Jericho? If it is, it's a pretty lackluster way of ending it, though. But hey, I don't think we need to see Jericho and Styles fight for a while now. I mean, 4 times. We can wait a little bit until we see them fight again. Moving on. We got the League of Nations versus the New Day. I'll say this much, the New Day keeps getting more and more entertaining. I mean, at WrestleMania, they had a giant Bootio cereal box with them, and when they came out insane gear. That was awesome. What wasn't was the booking, because who won? The League of Nations. The League of Nations won. Why? What was the point? I mean, the fact that the League of Nations won, did it accomplish anything? No, because Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, and Mick Foley came out afterwards and beat the shit out of them. So they didn't. So all they earned was a beating. I mean, Xavier Woods also got a stunner, but that's. Then the next night on Raw, they had a title match with Sheamus and Barrett going up against Kofi and Big E. New Day retained, and then the League of Nations turned on Barrett to kick him out of the League of Nations, and then the Wyatt attacked. Why? So you kick out Barrett, and then the Wyatt's attack. I mean, the team wasn't doing Barrett any favors, but why? Why the Wyatts? What? Why? It added nothing. It really added nothing. I don't know what they're planning on going on from here, but I hope that Barrett can at least have a decent singles career before he potentially quits this summer. After all, he said that he probably won't renew his contract because he has been treated like crap here, which I can agree with. Oh well, moving on. Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose. From what I hear from people, this was a pretty short match. There were some hardcore spots here, but I pretty much saw them all when I watched the clip that WWE put out of Ambrose caressing the barbed wire, going into the ring, trying to hit Lesnar. Lesnar counters, suplex on the chairs, F5 on the chair, pinfall. Very quick, very easy. Not much happened. I would have preferred. Here's the thing. I wanted Lesnar to win because it made no sense for me that Ambrose should beat him. But they could have at least done more with the match. Again, I haven't seen it, so I can't say how good or bad it was. But from what I can tell, it was pretty short. And it could have been a pretty hard-hitting brawl. No blood. That's annoying. In a street fight, specifically. There's another match, though, I would want to bring that attention to, but I don't know if it's... No, it's not next. Next, we have what people consider the best match on the card. Charlotte versus Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks for the Women's Championship. Rumors were true. They dropped the Divas title in favor of the new WWE Women's title. Gotta be honest though, the design of the belt, kinda lazy. Seriously. It's pretty lazy. It's basically the WWE World Heavyweight Championship with a white strap, and the middle logo is painted with red. That's about it. It just doesn't feel like its own thing. I would have preferred if it was its own thing. But that was what they did, and hey, I shouldn't really complain that they complain about the belt too much, considering that they got rid of the term divas. Thank you. And it's better than the butterfly belt, so I'm okay with this for now. I would have preferred to bring back the original Women's Championship. Okay. Anyway, yeah, the women's match. This is what people consider the best match on the card. See, WWE? This is what you do when you book women's wrestling. These three did a phenomenal job. At least from what I heard. And I saw some clips, and they looked great. They did some absolutely fantastic stuff there. Charlotte winning, though, I'm putting a bit of a question mark on that one. I mean, I guess since it's a new championship, you want to stick with the champion you already have, but I would have preferred if you probably gave it to Becky Lynch or Sasha Banks, because those were the those were really the favorites, and Charlotte's had a good run with the belt so far, at least. But hey, maybe she can help get things going. Though from what I can tell from Raw, it looks like she's going into a feud with Natalya. Yeah, they're both good wrestlers, so maybe, but Natalya's been kind of irrelevant in the past a few months. So okay. I hope I have something to look forward to. Because I have been considering throwing in a subscription to the network soon. Probably not too. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do payback though, because if it's in May, I have exams that month, so I probably need the time to study. But hey, I'm hopeful that we get something good out of it. So let's see. Yes. The Hell in a Cell match. So, from what I can tell from people, this match was pretty slow. This match wasn't very good, as expected, even though Shane McMahon, not a wrestler whatsoever, he did pretty poorly from what I can tell. Even if some of the decisions they made were pretty bad, like he kicked out of the last ride, he kicked out of the choke slam, he battled out of the Hell's Gate. That's bad. I agree. That's pretty bad. Apparently he brought his kids with him when he did an entrance, and I question that decision considering what they ended up doing in the match, which was that Shane climbed up to the top of the cage, jumped off, and fell through the announce table because Taker moved out of the way. So they could have potentially seen their father get killed. I mean, it was a great spot. I'm not going to take that away from him. It was a great spot. And in the end, Taker won. So not only did they get to see their dad almost kill himself, but he didn't even get the win for it. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy that Taker won. I mean, I don't feel I could live in a world where The Undertaker was beaten at WrestleMania inside Hell in a Cell by Shane McMahon. And even then, the match apparently meant kind of nothing, because Vince came out the next night on Raw, Shane came out, and Vince decided to let him run the show for the night. For no good reason. Oh, then, you will not upstage me. And that's about it. Bad decisions. The only thing I'm happy with is that Taker won. Everything else, the match really shouldn't have happened at all. Next, we have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. The only thing of note in this match is that we had some surprise entrances from DDP, Tatanka, and Shaquille O'Neal. Why? I don't get it. And who won? Baron Corbin. Yeah. Came straight out of NXT onto Raw. Found something I want to eat. It's some chocolate, so it's not. But anyway, Corbin won. Debuted at WrestleMania, won his first match, and came out on Raw and ended up in a double count-out with Ziggler. Not exactly the best debut match you want, but hey, I guess he's here now. Another one, another NXT debut that surprised me though was Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews just sort of just came up. Not really a reason at all. He just sort of came up, had a match with Tyler Breeze, won, looked great, but why? Why now? I mean, why couldn't he have stayed down in developmental a little bit more? I mean, you know, have some matches with someone like Shinsuke Nakamura, Austin Aries. Why now? They pushed him right up to the main roster immediately. Okay. Sink or swim. Swim, Crews. I'm hoping you're doing well. After all, you're a great wrestler, but we'll see if you can talk your way to good stuff. There was another NXT debut on Raw as well, which was more expected, but it was still awesome. Enzo and Cass, they're here, and they're probably going to feud with the Dudleys. Okay, here we go. The Dudleys versus Enzo and Cass. Enzo's promo was great, and the promo from both of them was great. And to hear the entire crowd chanting along with the song was awesome. It was a great moment. So, yeah, I'm hoping they're doing well. Next, we had a match that wasn't even. We had an impromptu match. Here's what happened. There was a match between. The Rock came out and with a flamethrower and lit his name on fire. I know it sounds weird, but he did. He cut a promo, announced the attendance record being broken, and then the Wyatts came out. And they set up a match. The Rock had a match with Eric Rowan, which lasted 6 seconds. The match began, Rock hit a rock bottom, match over. So, well, I got my wish. The Rock Cena 2 match is now not the Rock's last match. Now it's a 6-second match with Eric Rowan. I mean, I'm not sure if it will be his last match, but I honestly think it's better than Rock Cena 2, because Rock Cena 2 was an insult. It really was. This, yeah, it was a burial for the Wyatts, but I think it's a little bit better. I'm still hoping they're gonna do Rock versus Reigns, even if they didn't do the heel turn at the end of the night. I'll get to that, but yeah. Then the Wyatts started to swarm the Rock, and surprise, surprise, Yabadoo! John Cena came back. John, I think we did well enough without you. You didn't have to come back. He didn't show up on Raw, so I'm assuming it was a one-off. And he's probably not healthy enough. I mean, he didn't really do anything other than run down to the ring. So, I'm guessing he's not back yet. At least that's what I'm thinking at the very least. It was just a one-off thing. The Wyatts looked terrible. It looked bad, and that was about it. Moving on. Yep. Let's talk about it. The big one. The WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Roman Reigns versus Triple H. People are calling this one of the worst main events in WrestleMania history. Not a good start. I watched some clips. The match seemed very slow. The crowd was firmly behind Triple H and firmly against Roman Reigns, just like I predicted. Triple H did everything he could to get himself over as a heel. Flipped up the fans, cheated, had Stephanie interfere on multiple occasions. The crowd still booed. Booed Roman Reigns out of the building. The only time the crowd actually cheered Roman Reigns was when he accidentally speared Stephanie McMahon. That's only because it's so rare we get to see Stephanie actually get comeuppance. So, okay, that's one thing. But, nope. It wasn't meant to be. Reigns speared Triple H. And beat him. And won the title. And... no heel turn. Nothing. He just ended up the night celebrating winning the title while the boos were raining down on him. And they tried so hard just to turn off the crowd, turn off everything, turn up the music, everything just to make sure that the crowd didn't boo him out of the building. Hell, even on Raw, right before they started, they had the announcers tell them that the crowd at this Raw is usually very and they usually boo the guys they cheer and cheer the guys they boo. Yeah, that's not gonna fly. We know. You're trying to cover for Roman Reigns, and it failed. It failed hard. They were booing Roman Reigns out of the building like they really should. Roman Reigns, you need to stop. You need to just go to Vince and tell him, I've had it with this. Turn me heel, please. Please turn me heel. You have me in a match with AJ Styles. Heel, now! Come on! And that's about it. As for if Roman's gonna get booed again, well, the next pay-per-view we're gonna get to is Payback 2016, which will take place in Rosemont, Illinois. As in the same state that has Chicago, aka some of the loudest wrestling fans in the world. And Roman is facing AJ Styles. Oh, Roman, you're screwed. You're screwed so badly. As for anything else noteworthy that happened on Raw, I'm benching all the debuts. The only thing I can say is that I love Kevin Owens. Because when Reigns came out, he tried to brush off something. He said, I'm not a bad guy, I'm not a good guy, I'm the guy. And he was booed out of the building. So he asked for someone to come down and challenge him. Out comes Chris Jericho. Out comes AJ Styles. Out comes Kevin Owens. Out comes Sami Zayn. And Sami and Owens starts beating each other up. Well, Sami runs for it and attacks Kevin Owens. And AJ and Chris Jericho attack each other, and Reigns spears Jericho to a large boo. A fatal four-way set up, but surprise, surprise, Owens powerbombs Sami through an announce table, and he can't compete. And I love Owens' reaction when Lillian Garcia announces this. He just goes, when she mentions that Sami can't compete, he goes, but this is why Sami isn't there. And then when she says Sami is not medically cleared, he bows. It's like, you're welcome. Oh man, this guy, he's amazing. But because Sammy couldn't compete, they decided, no, we're still gonna do a fatal 4-way, and here's our fourth guy. Antonio Cesaro returns. Nice to see him back. I'm hoping he doesn't get injured as soon as possible again. So, we'll see. But hey, nice to have him back. We need more talent now since so many people are out with an injury. So, I'm hoping for the best. I really am hoping for the best. So, I'm gonna stick around with wrestling for a little while longer. It's probably gonna bore me to tears, but I'm gonna keep going in hopes that we get something good. Not sure if I'm gonna subscribe to the network or not. We'll see. So yeah, WWE are keeping my interest for now. I'm still gonna be more of a casual fan, just looking at the results for the most part. Maybe looking up a match every now and then on YouTube for free, so you don't get a cent from me. So yeah, that's Mania, that's Raw, and that's a wrap. I'll see you all later. I think the next thing I'm gonna do will be my thoughts on the movie Civil War. I mean Captain America Civil War. Possibly. If anything else comes up, I'll probably make a video on that. But that's what I'm gonna do next. So yeah, that's all I got. I expected a bad Mania to suck, and for the most part, I wasn't completely wrong.